Let's bring up Helen Huang and Jessica Tams, everybody.
Give it up, give it up.
Beauty, brains, and success alone.
Thank you, Christopher. It's so exciting to come up here when the MC is excited to have us.
Thanks for having us.
That's great. So I actually met Helen at a Women in Film 50th Gala I guess 2 years ago. It was in the winter. And I thought that it was one of the most inspirational events that I've ever been to. And the thing that really stood out to me was that the people that were there in attendance all supported each other and really focused on how they could build out the community and support each other to be better, realizing that if you help each other, then you yourself will actually be in benefit of that. And I've been really lucky to have Helen as a friend. She's been actually she's really amazing. So you guys should all be her friend as well.
Thank you. I would love to make some friends in Georgia. The event that Jessica is talking about, am I too loud? Can you hear me? Yes? More? Better? Okay, great. The event that we have every year during our awards season in LA is called the WIF Honors. And instead of providing a winner and a trophy, an award to one of the winners in a category and making everyone else a loser, we bring 2 women up from every movie or film that we want to highlight who have collaborated together on something that's being campaigned for an award. So while the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Spirit Awards, the SAG Awards are happening, there's a series of winners and losers in town. And only at WIF Honors is it the spirit of collaboration and lifting and promoting each other up, which I think is one of the most powerful, disruptive ways of thinking about how any entrepreneurial or outsider group should consider working together to lift each other through what's already established and to promote each other in each other's work. So instead of being the big fish in the small pond or being the individual rock star, instead of being the superstar, being part of a team or a collaborative effort that makes the level of the tide rise and lift all the boats together. So it's a philosophy that I've taken to heart. We've seen a lot of success in our approach to the awards season. And currently I'm consulting for WIF. We're putting together the entrepreneurial pathways. And we're trying to help more women become the CEOs of their own founded companies in the Hollywood ecosystem. And one of the ways that we're doing that is helping women learn how to read their financial reports and get investing language locked down so that when they speak about their companies to potential investors or business partners, they're more likely to have the confidence and the success rate that many of their male counterparts have in the industry.
Yeah, great. So I wanted to talk about inside of Hollywood, there's a lot of different roles. There's the people who make the movies, there's the people who find the movies, there's the people who cast who is going to be the star. And in your experience inside of the industry, you've worked most recently as an acquisitions executive. So can you talk about what that is versus somebody who makes movies or somebody who greenlights movies? There's a lot of different job roles there, and I think that it might be interesting for people to know if they're looking to pitch a product or they're looking to go talk to somebody, what do these roles actually mean?
How many of you here are interested in the inside of Hollywood? If you could just give me some indication, just a little bit. Okay, I won't go too long. Inside of Hollywood, you have a series of executives who perform in different functions, some of whom greenlight movies so that they've agreed that their studio can invest its money into producing films. And there are some executives who have a lot more to do with the distribution or the marketing of a movie. And some movies get made independently. And those movies that got made by filmmakers and producers who are outside of the studio or network system have nowhere to go. They don't get distributed to the audience. So people have put a lot of money and a lot of time and craft into making something terrific, and now they have to figure out how to get it to a distributor. And so for 13 years, I was one of the executives that bridged the independent filmmaking community with one of the networks in Los Angeles. And so that's known as acquisitions. I would go to film festivals and go to buyer screenings, watch movies, and then essentially shop. I would watch movies and buy movies for my network. And it sounds like a lot of fun, and it was in a way, but it's not the same thing as making a movie. I'm an example of a middleman in the process of having your content or your creative work reach an audience. And so I represented one of the buckets of the industry itself. So there's production and there's distribution, and in the distribution side of the bucket, there's a bridge between distribution and exhibition. An exhibition is the final mile between a consumer and the distributor. So the movie theaters, or if you're in the contemporary world, Netflix streaming. So what I did was I would identify what I thought something was worth to my platform and my customers. And so I spent about $100 million while I was an acquisitions executive, and I purchased over 1,500 movies, stand-up comedy specials, and documentaries to offer to my millions of clients across America. And so a lot of what I had to do was negotiate, as well as have taste and knowledge about the pricing and valuation of things. I've actually lost the plot. I have no idea what the question was. What was the question? Was it just define what an acquisition executive is?
Yes, because I think that, like, even I've done a lot of work inside of the entertainment industry, almost 30 years. And I remember that when we sat down, and I sat down with Helen, and she explained it like nobody's ever explained it so well. Because people, they focus on, and we actually discussed this is the next question, is when you're thinking about building out your company, and this is for any company in any industry, there's this thought in people's minds. They see the industry, they see what's really exciting, and then they want to make what is the end product, like the shiny, as Helen calls it, the shiny bling bling. And so if you have a product, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what your product is, no matter what your sector, if you think about only producing the thing that everybody else can see, that's a place where there's going to be a lot of competition. And so in Hollywood, a lot of people want to make a film, they want to write a screenplay, they want to get their work out, like Abigail has. But there's a lot of other parts inside of the industry that are there, that are good business, and actually make a lot of the money. And so could you talk about the experience in Hollywood and people's focus on what I call the bling and the stars, and how that could be applied into any company? That was a long question.
I would love to. I completely followed. So one of the most important things for you to do as an entrepreneur or a creative person or a person in tech at a company that maybe you have a piece of ownership in here is to remember that the end of the line is none of your business. So when I was thinking about what I was going to do with my life, the reason I wanted to go to Hollywood is because I kept seeing the marketing of Hollywood. I saw the movie stars on the red carpet. I saw all the stories in the magazines, like People Magazine or Us Weekly. And I was really attracted to the end of the line. I thought that if I went into Hollywood to make movies or buy and sell movies, that I would also experience what I saw marketed to me by Hollywood, which is glamour and beautiful fashion and happy, sexy, rich, famous, bigger than life people. And I thought that I would be able to have fun going into Hollywood to do that. And I didn't understand until I got into the film industry that the end of the line is just an illusion. All the bling and all the shiny signifiers of success and happiness and fun, was just what the publicists had put together in a photo shoot. It's what the publicists of the studios had put together starting 100 years ago when they put movie stars together on dates and caught pictures of them. It's been a long marketing job. So the real thing for you to think about is, how are you going to market to the end of the line in a way that you're making revenue to the greatest extent possible for your content and product? Another way to think about it also is, do I want to be making that product, or do I want to be figuring out a strategy to sell that product? If I don't actually enjoy the process of either making the content or distributing the content, and that's going to be the big majority of my time spent and my attention and my energy deployed, then maybe I'm being fooled by the things that I've seen at the end of the line as a consumer. So if you just reverse engineer, you need to see through the illusion and see where the dollars go. We spend a lot of money on marketing in the film industry, and it's to cut through the noise, to get your attention, and to make you hope that that movie will provide for you the emotional experience that you're craving. So if you're creating games or you're creating an app and you're focusing altogether on the content of your app, you also need to think about whether or not focusing on the content of your app is fulfilling to you, and or is the content of your app going to be a fulfilling experience for your end user? And then worry about the end of the line and the strategy for your PR. And so I think at the end of the day, all of us are responsible now for thinking about PR. All of us are responsible for thinking about marketing. Because even if you're really pursuing your own career, you have to market yourself as the end of the line for someone else to buy into you as a CEO or an executive. Have I just made too many points?
I don't know.
Have I made too many points? Long story short, learn how to market. Learn how to cut through the noise, because there's a lot of competition in content or in tech or in the things that people are creatively making. Learn how to distinguish yourself and amplify your existence. And how best to do that is to do it communally. So let me tell you a quick story. Way back in Hollywood's old days, before there was the internet, we used to have a system where agents would represent screenwriters, and on Friday, they would send the scripts of their screenwriting clients to all of the development executives to read over the weekend. Then on Monday morning, all across Hollywood, all the production companies would have Monday morning meetings where the executives and the assistants would report about the scripts that they had read that weekend. So there was a group of assistants that had no money, no success, no representation, and some of them were friends with one guy who had a script that he had written. He didn't have an agent, but all of his assistant friends agreed that on Monday morning they would all go into their various companies and tell their bosses about this guy's script that they had slipped, that they secretly were going to pump up across town. And so they told all the bosses, this is the best script I've ever read. Everybody wants to get their hands on it. And then the bosses reached out to the agencies and said, how do I get this script? I want to read it. And the agents were like, I don't represent this client. Does anyone represent this client? And then they reached out to this guy, and they offered to represent him because there was such a demand for his script. And it was engineered by a group of friends who were assistants, who didn't have a lot of power, but they did actually have a lot of power because they had a strategy, a collaborative marketing idea. So if you can draft from this little anecdote the fact that some kid who had 21 years old made $1 million on his spec script and got an agent because his friends decided to all share the same marketing message to their bosses, if you can extrapolate from this with your companies together, creating some kind of association with a strategy that lifts each other up and promotes each other and gives each other voice, you can become a much stronger segment or industry than you will if you compete among each other.
Yes. So one of the things to remember is that this community in this region. It's like, yeah, yes, you're small, and maybe a lot of people don't even know where Sacravelo is. There's still a lot of power here if you work together. And if you look at other creative tech industries, in the video game space or in the film space, Finland, also a small country, but has a lot of tech, small population. Israel, small population. And it's mostly about those industries that really get that traction are ones that support each other. And it's really hard emotionally, I think. And when I went to the Women in Film event with Helen, I realized that as we're thinking about mentoring people and about giving back to the community, we often think about giving back to people who are coming after us. So I might mentor somebody who's a younger executive, somebody who's a new CEO, somebody coming right out of college. But that's not how you grow the ecosystem. And the stronger the ecosystem, the stronger you are. So you going out and you telling somebody about a company that's local, that has a great product, and you push it out on Instagram, and you guys spend your energy focusing on each other, then you'll really be able to get that traction, I think. And it's something that, with this community here, I think that you guys can do it. You guys are all tech savvy, you guys all like each other most of the time, and you're small enough that you're not going to have a lot of overlap in your companies. And we called this, and this is what I got from Helen's event, was instead of thinking about mentorship as pulling people up, you think of pushing them. So even if there's somebody ahead of you, or there's some executive and they have their product, and you might think, oh, they don't need my help. They already have it. Oh, they already raised money. Oh, they already have lots of mentors, but they need your help. And you need them to succeed so that you can actually push them up. So, Helen, if you think about the work that you've done in the associations that you've been involved with, how would this community organize a group like that to actually push forward? Yeah.
So I'm a member of the Academy of the Television Arts and Sciences, which is like the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences. AMPAS gives out Oscars, and ATAS gives out Emmy Awards in the United States. And one of the things that our academy has done has created peer circles. So they have put together individuals who have a similar level, but working in different capacities across the television landscape in the United States. And we meet and strategize for each other every month. So I may not know how to be a marketing executive because I've been an acquisitions executive, but I know one of the women in my peer circle is unemployed and looking for her next SVP head of marketing position. And I happen to know a ton of marketing executives throughout the industry, so I can connect her to them, and likewise. So as people begin to pivot in this circle, they ask each other for what they need. It's similar to a mastermind circle. It's similar to an association. I mean, all of these things function in the same way. You have to get to know the individuals and their capabilities, and they have to get to know you, and together you can collaboratively earn each other revenue and get each other's brands out and help each other connect to their clients or investors.
Oh, that's great. Good. So one of the things also that Helen's taught me so many things, so I'm hoping you guys are learning these as well. She's like, I don't know about that. Yeah, she's too shy. She's too shy. So one thing that we talked about that really changed my perspective on business and the industry was when you're new to an industry or you're looking to break into an industry, oftentimes when we come in, we want to come in, we want to like make our mark, we want to just like get right in there and make stuff happen. And sometimes it feels like people are being exclusionary, like they're kind of circling the wagons and like keeping people out. And so are people really trying to keep people out, or is there a reason that maybe it feels like they're trying to, keep people out? And how can you counteract that, or how can you approach that?
That's a great question. If you've ever felt that there's a barrier to you and your next step in your pursuit of a goal or journey, I've probably experienced that same barrier. Do you feel that you don't know anybody who can help you? Do you feel like you don't have enough money or enough energy, or enough time, or enough good looks, or special magic, or the right parents? I have no advantages when I started my career in Hollywood. And so I've made a very careful and observant study of how you get what you want. How to get what you need is similar. And it begins with never, 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 ever assuming that your current condition is your future. You must always keep your mind on where you need to be and what that entails. So if where I need to be is to have a $10 million fund of my own to deploy as a venture capitalist, who do I have around me? I probably have a lawyer that I trust. I probably have a partner that I trust who's marketing so that I can have deal flow. I probably have some kind of branding. Maybe I'm starting out with no money, and so I have a terrible job, I have another terrible job, I have a third terrible job, I'm getting no sleep, and maybe people would say that I was crazy if I thought one day I'm going to be a venture capitalist with $10 million of my own to deploy and $100 million of a collected amount of money to deploy. But those people don't need to be part of my mindset as I pick apart my journey and my strategy towards finding the lawyer, finding the other investors, learning what I need to learn, creating my first deals, getting some success, using that again. It requires you. That's always all. That's always all. It only requires you keeping your mind and your heart set on where you need to be, thinking what it looks like, creating that reality step by step, and opportunities will always come to you. When you're clear about what you want, the opportunity will come. So for example, when Jessica said that, actually, I can't quote Jessica, I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly what you said.
It's okay, you can quote
But
me, just make it up.
When Jessica said that you have so much to offer, I was thinking, yeah, I need all of you. If all of you were to offer me your drones, your tech, your creative pitches, and if you were willing to offer it to me to barter, and I brought it to Hollywood, and I made an agency out of myself and took just a piece of a commission piece of getting you money and getting them services, which would probably be a little less expensive, which is one of your killer strengths. If it's a less expensive for them to get it from you, but it's equal quality, and I've brought it in as an agent, I'm making money. Think about the fact that you didn't know I needed you, but I did. So any of you could come up to me, pitch to me on LinkedIn. We could arrange a deal. I could find you customers or clients with the people that I know, and you would instantly be an international business. And I would instantly be your agent, right? But why would I do that with you if you were just a stranger who just pitched me on LinkedIn? I don't know if you're a bot or a scam or somebody who's going to be irresponsible and not true to your word. So you actually have to get me to know you over a period of time. And that is actually the secret to making all of your goals happen, is allowing yourself to continue to fail, because it takes repetition and time to make success happen. Do you agree? Does it? Yes? Someone agrees?
Yeah.
Does anyone have a question?
Yeah.
Would you like to know how I know this is true? Because I came from a town of farmers, and I ended up an executive at a network, and I was the first executive of my type, of film acquisitions, content acquisitions, who was of Asian descent in all of US television history. As far as we all know, I'm the first one who looks like this to have that job. I had no connections, and I had nothing but faith and a little bit of luck. And when I got the job, I kept it for 13 years. And by the time I left, a lot of people thought that that meant that department was done. Technically, it probably was. But I think in the course of that, I also made other successes for myself. I created a nonprofit organization. I created a charity that donated underwear, diapers, socks, and bras to homeless women and to domestic violence shelters and to rape crisis shelters. I also made a lot of friends, earned a lot of self-respect, and also went from being poor to fairly comfortable. So at the end of that, I met my now husband. So I'm happily married, I'm wealthy, I'm successful, I'm very far away from where I began. And if I had thought about where I began as the definition of what I could be or how I could live, I'd be a miserable, depressed, very hurt person, because that's how I began. And as long as you don't allow your current situation to define you, whether it's your company, your organization, your dreams, or your goals, you can always achieve what you need to achieve before your time runs out. That's what I firmly believe.
Yeah.
Not very businessy, I'm sorry. Is it too casual? No?
That's fine.
We're fine?
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
The question is, like today, are you guys going to get out and work with each other and make this country and this tech scene great and listen to Helen? Who's going to do it? And if you say no, if anybody says no, then we'll stay here and talk for a little bit longer.
We're just trying to convince you to make each other friends and collaborators.
Yeah.
Reach across the aisle, meet everyone you can here, make friends, create ideas. Move yourselves forward as though you're just a small ring of assistance and you have one strategy, which is to blow one friend up. And then once he's blown up, he brings you up. And once two of you are up, the two of them bring three of you up. And now all of you are up.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah. And if you think about these communities that are really big, they start with like one or two people, and you think of the community because there's multiple success stories. So if you're only focused on yourself and, I'm going to get my unicorn, I'm going to raise my money, I'm going to be whatever, you'll never actually be thought of as a key ecosystem tech leader. You'll just be thought of as a one-off. You won't have the support. And we just really need to think of that. And when I think back, even, 6 months ago when we thought about building this, actually it was 7.5 months ago.
Congratulations.
Like,
can you believe that?
It
was just an idea, and
like,
now look
did you
around
guys
you.
think
There are
last
thousands
year,
of people.
if in your mind, in October 2024, who thought there'd be 4,000 people at a tech conference in Tbilisi? Did anybody think that? And I know you guys won't raise your hands, so this is perfect. Like, raise your hands if you thought that. Oh, look, nobody raised their hands.
I will say this. Think about the money first. I organized a charitable event once, and we put 30 volunteers to work for 6 months. We created the most glamorous event in the Hollywood Hills. We had the LA Laker girls. We had celebrities. We had a fashion show. We had a DJ. It was a very, very cool event. We had magazine and newspaper and news camera crews there. And the whole time that we spent putting the event together and reaching out to vendors, asking them to donate things, we didn't actually sell tickets. It was the biggest failure for the most successful event of all time. We had so many amazing elements at this multimillionaire's house overlooking Los Angeles. This was the first time when I was 20 that we did this great event. And we had news crews and everything, but we didn't have time to sell tickets because we were so busy making the content so good. Don't do that. Think about how you're going to sell tickets. How are you going to sell games? How are you going to sell your books? How are you going to sell your movie? Think about the last mile first. So when we did our next event, we thought, we know the date, we know the location, we're going to give it a title, we're going to start marketing. Oh, we have a host, now we're going to market some more. Oh, we have a vendor, oh, we're going to market some more. Oh, we're going to have these celebrities, now we're going to market some more. Oh, let's start having a ticket sale committee. And the second time we did an event, it wasn't even half as good as the first event, but we had people there and we made a profit. So remember to think that way first. Learn from my failed example.
Yeah. So next year, when you guys are all here and we come back, you know, there's some of you guys in here. I want to see some trade associations. I want to see you guys pushing each other up. And if you come and you can contact me or any of the other organizers and just let us know, you know, and maybe I can just volunteer some of you guys. Like, he's nodding a lot, so he's in charge now. I don't know your name, but you're in charge. Yeah, you too. Yeah, all of you. Yeah, just the first row, but not Abigail, because, you know.
Uta, you're in charge.
You're totally in charge.
You're
and
witnesses.
next year, it would be really awesome if you could be up here on stage talking about how you guys have built this great community.
Let's try a quick example. Nata, will you please stand up? Nata, please stand up.
Will Nata please stand up?
No, there is no Nata here. Okay, someone pretend to be
no,
Nata.
no. Oh, no, he's in the other room. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Tata.
Tata.
You stand up. Tata, stand up. This is Tata. Everybody look at her.
She's gorgeous,
Right there.
everyone.
All right,
Give her a round of
this is Tata.
applause.
Now, what does Tata do? Tata is in PR. So if anybody wants to start making a connection with somebody in PR, here's somebody you can meet. Great. Does anyone else want to be promoted? Anyone else? I have a microphone. That's all I need.
Oh, you're right there. What are you going to do?
Stand up. Uta deadlifts. He's a bodybuilder.
Powerlifting champion
The
at 16
powerlifting
years old.
champion.
If you have some
But-
debt to be lifted,
Wait, is that
But-
true?
This is how it works. I will share my microphone with you.
Oh, yeah.
this one is more premium.
I have 4+ year experience in sales and tech. If anybody needs anything, you can
I'm
contact.
going to train him. Ready? Shout it.
I have 4+ years experience in tech and IT. If anybody needs anything, just contact me, please.
Give me your card right
Give
now.
it up for Uta.
Give me your card right now.
The number one thing you must remember in sales is to raise your voice. Literally, all you have to do is raise your voice a little bit louder and you'll be 50% more persuasive.
It's true. It's true.
Wow.
And I remember he's saying that we have to stop, but
Oh, sorry.
I'll just end on one thing.
Without raising his voice.
There was an amazing session that I went to a couple of years ago, and actually Karen Gillan was there. You guys might know as Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy, and she said the number one thing to do is when you think about what you want, you just need to start telling people what you want. So if whatever it is that you want, right now, everybody just tell the person next to you your goal. You guys got to do it. Just like pretend and make me feel better, please. And you just start telling people. And the process of telling people is what you need to start to do to actually get it going. Okay. Now we'll get off the
Thank you
stage
for
'cause we're late.
listening.
Wow.
That was amazing. What
Write
a
down these lessons. This is
crowd. They're feeling it now.
Crucial.
Thank you so much. Helen Huang, Jessica Tams, they're amazing.